Hi, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, recorded and produced at the Video Podcast Studio. I'm your host, Gina Yager, founder and director of GYC Vegas, an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We believe every company has a story to tell, and we're passionate about getting businesses recognized. At Get Your Chat On, we sit down with local professionals to get to know a little about their organization, their role, and their perspective on our vibrant business community here in Southern Nevada. On today's episode, we're chatting with Pete Radd, a versatile pianist and composer who splits his time between performing on the beautiful Steinway piano in the Bellagio lobby and creating music in his studio. Through his company, radtunes.com, Pete has spent over 30 years crafting jingles for radio, television, and web commercials for clients across the country. Expanding his musical repertoire, Pete is currently producing solo piano albums for relaxation and meditation, with more than 10 albums now available on all major music streaming platforms. Whether he's helping advertise clients turn up the heat with catchy jingles or creating soothing melodies for relaxation, Pete brings decades of experience and artistry to every project, seamlessly blending his commercial music expertise with his passion for creating beautiful, accessible piano music. Thank you so much for joining us, Pete.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you taking the time to come in.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to talk to you. So tell our guests a little bit more about Radd Music. Wait, I'm saying that wrong.
Radtunes.com.
Radtunes.com. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Radtunes.com is my website for my jingles. People find me there. I have a website solely because people are looking for me because I produced the Lerner and Rowe jingle.
The one everyone knows in this market.
The one that's stuck in everyone's head.
Yep.
And actually, even though they're based here in Nevada and Phoenix, they are in 20 states across the United States. So there's a different version of the phone number, but it's the same jingle. So people will be traveling and they'll say to me, "Hey, if someone stole your jingle in Nashville," and I'm like, "No, we did it here. We did it here in Vegas."
Okay.
But we do jingles, and the two top categories are home services, HVAC, roofers, carpet people, remodeling, and attorneys. Those are the folks that are buying jingles.
Okay,
these days.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
And why is that? Those are the people who tend to gravitate towards wanting a jingle for their business?
Yeah, and those are the businesses that are growing, and those are the businesses that are on radio. But jingles are used everywhere. They're used in social, they're used on websites, they're used in video, but typically they're generated out of radio. I get a lot of referrals from radio businesses.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah.
let's talk about your discovering your true calling. I mean, this is something that you've been doing for a really long time.
So
how did you get into this?
Yeah. So unlike most people, I knew what I wanted to do with my life when I was 4. I wanted to play
Really?
the piano. And,
Okay.
I wanted music to be the way I made my money. I didn't care what kind of music it was. I just wanted to be playing the piano. So that part happened. It was later on in the late 80s. I was living in Reno, and someone hired me to produce a jingle for them.
Okay.
And
had you ever done a jingle
I'd
before?
never done a jingle before, but I'd heard about it.
Okay.
And we were still recording on tape then, but this is still the time when a keyboard player could play most of the sounds and do most of the work. And I watched it all happen, and I was just like, well, I could do this. So I hung my own sign and went into business. And the first jingle I ever sold was to the Reno Sparks Cab Company, and it happened to be a hit. They played it a lot. It was a catchy little tune on their phone number, and I was off and running with jingles.
Wow. That's amazing. Talk about a little bit more about your journey to today and what shaped your career.
So I've got two career paths. I've got a career path as a musician and a career path in the advertising industry, and they're related a little bit, but separate. Some of the milestones. That first jingle was a milestone. Definitely, the Lerner and Rowe jingle was a big milestone in my advertising. Not just because it's a good. I think it is a good jingle. I think it's a really good jingle, but it's a quite brilliant campaign, and it gets played a lot. So even though the client's becoming famous, it's still kind of my work. And in our advertising world, that one kind of launched me.
Yeah.
In music, I've always just played gigs, been in bands and everything. And when I moved to Vegas, I got a really lucky break, and I was asked to play with the Four Tops and tour with them. And
Wow.
It was still the original four. And I spent the 90s touring with them. And then at the end of the 90s, around 96, 97, we used to do a lot of shows with the Temptations. And the Temptations had an opening for their music director. So they plucked me from the Four Tops, and then I conducted the orchestra for the Temptations for 3 years.
Wow.
So that whole decade, I was doing both. I was still in town. I was doing jingles when I can, and I was touring in and out of town a lot. A lot of cool stuff on the tours.
That's a really cool career.
Yeah.
And how did that start? So back up for me, even,
Yeah.
you said before I moved to Vegas, where did you come from? You've been playing the piano since you were 4. Tell me a little bit about your, growing up.
I was born in Buffalo. We moved to Wisconsin when I was 8. My father taught music at the University of Wisconsin at a small college. And, I studied. I went to college there, got a degree and everything. But I knew I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. So right from there, I was a musician on cruise ships for a year. Then I was in bands, and the bands, eventually you end up touring out here with like road bands, playing in casino lounges and everything. There was one thing, when I was in junior high school, I went to a summer music camp, and one of the teachers was talking with us about gigging and working, and he'd been out here, and he's giving us this talk. This is like in the 70s. He's saying Vegas is really crazy. He goes, in Vegas you can play your instrument and just go down to the Strip and have it be your job 6 days a week, like a factory. And when he said that, I was like, I want that. I was like, I got to get to Vegas, starting in junior high.
Wow.
I had that in the back of my mind, and eventually I got here, and it's still a big part of what I'm doing. I still go down to the Bellagio and play the piano.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is such a cool side job to have, right?
It's a great job. Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about your driving mission. What's your mission or your purpose that lies at the heart of your work?
So there's 1.0 and there's 2.0 with that. With 1.0, all I cared about was music when I was young. I just listened to music all the time. I really only was interested in musicians and music people, and it really consumed my life. Later on, life happens and you have to start making a living. And my mission today is, whether it's playing music on the Strip or at an event or something, or making music for an advertising client. My mission is to connect with people through music and serve them and make my music serve their goals. So when they come to the Bellagio and the lounge, they're there to relax. They want to tune in and tune out of the music at their leisure. It's literally background music. I'm a background musician, very much. With advertising, clients have goals, they have campaigns, agencies direct campaigns,
right?
Which all of that's really above my pay grade, but my trick is to apply the music and make it fit into the campaign. Campaigns are like building blocks. There's all these different components, all these different. I'm preaching to the choir here.
Yeah,
I know. There's all these different components. Yeah. There's all these different from your side, from the agency side. There's all these different disciplines that contribute to a 30-second ad that runs on TV or runs on, and I'm one of those components, and my job is to make the music work for what's going on in the larger picture.
Do you get direction from
all the time from everybody? There's not
do they sometimes know, I have no idea what I want, just write me something cool? yeah, rarely. Okay.
Yeah, and typically I know how to ask questions to get clients to tell me what's going on, because the jingle needs to serve a purpose. Many times it's a hard sell. So if it's a phone number, or if I'm writing a jingle about a website, that's what we would call a hard sell jingle. You want the website stuck in their heads or the phone number stuck in their heads. Other times it's just a branding message. They already have a slogan they've been using, or there's a brand new slogan, and they want to launch it or enhance it with the jingle. So it's my job to suss that out. But the thing I was going to say, Gina, is every single jingle I've ever done, ever, is a collaboration with everybody. And I've worked hard at making sure that I want everybody's collaborative input. I want to work work with clients.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
important for us. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So when jingles are done, clients don't say, oh, Pete came up with this great jingle for us. But they will say Pete was good to work with. And I'm proud of that.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll say Pete's great. He listens. They say nice things like that, and that's the endorsement I get. Sometimes they apologize to me. They'll go, "Oh, we're sorry we put you through."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
When I get my apology, I know I've done a great job.
Sorry, it took so many edits.
Well, so many edits, or they change their mind, or this. Clients will ask for something, and you really think, "Oh, this is easy. I got this," and then you give it to them, and then, well, here's what we really had in mind, and you're just like, "Okay, let's do it."
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. What's your motivating spark that gets you motivated every day to do this again and again?
Yeah. To me, what's cool is this was what I wanted to do my whole life, and I knew very, very young this was what I wanted to do, and I'm doing it. So it's really, there's something I can do each day that somebody needs from me, and they're willing to pay for it. What other motivation really do you want?
Right. Right. And what's your competition like? I'm totally curious.
So I'm not the only piano player, and I am the only jingle producer full time in Vegas.
Okay.
But I'm not the only producer in the United States.
Of course.
With my live music, I've figured out, like, it's really okay to be a background musician. It's really okay to not be famous. It's really okay if they're not listening.
Did that bother you in the beginning?
It does. It's never bothered me, but it bothers a lot of my colleagues.
Okay.
A lot of musicians are playing in a club or playing in a lounge or playing at an event and would really rather be doing something else musically. They'd rather be playing jazz music or something that they wrote. That's not me. I'm thrilled to be playing music at any place where someone wants me, and I'm thrilled if people tune in and tune out, or if they mostly tune out. That's fine. I'm just very happy in the background.
You're happy playing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Doing what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. In what ways do you give back to the local community here in Las Vegas?
My biggest contribution is that I've served on the board of the local chapter of the American Marketing Association. I'm very proud. Yeah, that's where we met. And I'm very proud of the work that we did. I think we did, and they still are. It was a long run. I resigned, but
okay.
I was just tired. But and it's time for fresh blood. But over the last, I think, 15 years, we've put on the best luncheons in town with marketing professionals. We've brought in some superstars sometimes. We made a really nice presentation out of it. It was very exciting people on the board. And I did a lot of the AV and the microphones and the PowerPoint and to really snazz up the meetings. And I think we did some great work getting people connected, getting people educated. It was a great time.
Okay. How do you feel like your work pushes boundaries?
I think my work doesn't push boundaries necessarily, but this is how I've been competitive. I worked really hard at connecting with clients and learning why they do what they do. Clients want to be a part of the process, and many times they're scared. They'll never tell you they're scared. I had to figure this stuff out. Clients are afraid sometimes. They're afraid of looking stupid or awkward. They don't want to tell you things. They hold back. My job is to make clients feel comfortable. I want their opinion. I want them to say to me what they're thinking, and I need to make them feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
I could sit and you could take 5 jingle producers and say, which one is which guy wrote the most catchy tune. I don't compete at that level. I think everybody's stuff usually is pretty good. The trick is how well do you take care of the client? How well does the jingle fit into the puzzle? I worked really, really hard on that, and I actually think I smoked my competitors in that area. I really do.
Yeah, it's
I
all
really
about
do.
client service.
Yeah.
And what you and the relationship between
Yeah.
you and that client.
Yeah.
That either brings work that's continues, comes from them, or getting more referrals. But and then that's just the nature of this town, right?
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit more in a second.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk about professional advice. Looking
Yeah.
back on your career, what is some advice that you could give to someone who either they're starting out in the music industry, maybe they want to get into advertising, or maybe they're looking for a career shift? What would you say?
So there's a couple different things. The best thing you can do in your career, whoever's paying you money for anything, whoever it is, try and view the transaction from their point of view and through their eyes as best you can. Mm-hmm. Why are they spending the money? Why do they really want you? Mm-hmm. Because it's not always obvious. That's number one, and it's different in a lot of situations. And follow the money backwards. So, here's the thing. So a lot of my clients are attorneys. I've done a lot of attorney jingles in town. I've done a lot of attorney jingles across the country. Where does that money come from? Well, it comes from our car insurance payments. We pay for car insurance, mm-hmm. and then people get injured, and then they, as the attorneys say, they recover that money. So if you drive in Vegas around the 215, it's literally a pageant of billboards.
Right.
Attorney billboards.
Yes.
Right?
Personal injury billboards, yes, everywhere.
Yeah. Who pays for all that? That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of car accidents.
It is.
And slips and falls, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a lot of accidents. Well, I'm not saying this is some big dark discovery, but it helps to understand these things. That's our car insurance money. Mm-hmm. So that's my first bit of advice is know the transaction from the other side, and then you can adapt to be properly of service, and you can understand a little bit better what's going on. Mm-hmm. The other one for advertising folks, I've talked about this a lot, and I don't know if this opinion is in the majority, but I hold it pretty dear. With advertising or public relations or marketing, they're not the same thing, but they're close cousins.
Yep,
all of those
all
things.
part of the marketing mix.
Yeah. I think as advertising professionals, we have to be careful with our expertise because we have a lot of it. We have experience. We've read books. We're always reading. We're always learning more. Every time we do a job, we get more experience. And when you bring that expertise to a client, expertise has two components to it. It has all your experience, everything that you've learned, everything that you've read. But the word expert implies that when you say something, it has authority, mm-hmm. and then it's a fact. Mm-hmm. And clients don't always give us the authority that we think we have. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in this situation where a client goes, well, you're the expert, you tell me. Mm-hmm. I think when a client says, you're the expert, I think you're in trouble. I think you've sometimes claimed authority on a point that the client is not necessarily willing to give you. Mm. They want service from you. They want your experience. But expertise, again, is a two-sided coin. It's your experience, but it's also authority. And clients don't always give us authority. Now, sometimes they do. My clients, Gina, are pretty much one-offs. I mean, I do a job for them, it's done, and then I move on to another job. You have clients that are ongoing, mm-hmm. and agencies do.
Right.
So I think in your situation, it's a little bit more fluid. I think there's times when they're giving you authority, and I think there's times when they pull it back. Mm-hmm. This is stuff that I've learned from hanging out with you people at lunches. Yeah, I mean, because I hear the same complaints, and the same challenges. Mm-hmm. I really should say challenges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what are you working on now? What's your some of the upcoming initiatives that you have going on?
So I like to talk about my albums. So
okay, yeah.
So in the 90s, there was a jingle company that sent me a lot of work. They got acquired. There were mergers, and now they're a big music library company. Well, some of the people that were in that company are still there, and they called me up and they said, there's this relaxing piano music category that's really big on the platforms.
Yeah.
And they said, you could totally do this. And I was like, I totally could. So for the first time ever, I'm actually recording albums of songs.
You're composing brand new music.
I am. Yeah, there's several of them. They're on whatever platform, Pandora, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, couple
Are they
others.
in the Insight Timer, those types of apps too? Kind of put you to sleep apps?
Good question.
Or meditation apps?
I don't know. Good question. I don't know. My label just kind of handles all of that.
Okay, well, that's great.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, and if everybody wants to stream, it's out there. They can look me up, Pete Radd, and just type in relaxing piano, and it'll come up, and you can help me earn tens and tens of fractions of a penny each time you listen to them.
Nice. All right, we have a fun little segment we like to do about doing business in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And so since this is where you live and you work and you breathe and you network, I'm going to ask you some of these fill-in-the-blank Mad Lib style questions. All right. So when doing business in Las Vegas, it's essential to have a solid strategy for?
Change.
That's good.
Change. Vegas is changing. Vegas is changing right now. Right now, on a street that you haven't driven on in 3 months,
right?
There's going to be there's a new bar, there's a new something. So everything changes, and it's positive change for the most part. Now sometimes it's inconvenient,
right.
Yeah, the traffic cones and the whatever. But that's the price of living in a growing city.
Yeah.
If you've been here for a while, you don't know what it's like to talk to somebody in the Rust Belt. Back east, or towns.
Right, where nothing changes ever.
Yeah. Well, and it's changing in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Right.
So everything's changing here, and along with it, the people are moving here, and I mean people are moving up. So you might have an account here. This is especially true with the casinos, and especially like the locals casinos, the regional casinos. You might have an account that you think is pretty locked in. You've got a relationship with one or two. Well, those people are moving up. They're going to move on. And you can lose accounts just because the people change, because the town is growing that fast. So that's a strategy change.
Speaking of that, one thing every new transplant should know before doing business in Las Vegas is to never underestimate the power of...
I think the power of people's relationship in Vegas with Las Vegas itself. I think it's unlike any other city because most of us aren't originally from here.
Right.
And folks have their own idea of if Vegas is home or not, or if they're going to go back home one day.
Right.
Now, it's not a judgment, or it's not a right or wrong, but it's part of how you evaluate people if you were going to get into business with them or form a partnership or a relationship, a personal relationship. Everybody has an idea, and I always ask people, what brought you here? What brought you to Vegas? When I get to know somebody at a mixer or in a dinner party or social situation, so many interesting stories of what brought people here.
Yeah.
I think we're unique in the United States over any country or in the country.
Definitely. I think it's important to get people's sense of community. I would, when I interview people, if they've just moved to Las Vegas and they want to work here, ask them lots of questions about what they know about Nevada or what they know about Las Vegas to see, how willing are they to really, really invest in our community and be a part of it?
Yeah.
Because you need to, this is a small town of 3 million people and everyone knows everyone. And it's important to make that commitment and get involved.
Yep. You know what? It's all three. It's a small town. It's a regional, mid-sized market, and it's a big city all in one.
Right. You can look at it all those ways.
The Las Vegas Strip, those are multinational corporations. They're big. They're big, and you can do business in all of them if you're careful. So does that answer the question?
Yeah. When it comes to connecting with a business contact over coffee, drinks, or lunch, where do you like to go?
Okay. You're not going to see this answer coming.
Okay.
But, okay. I like to go to a place that's located near a highway exit.
Okay.
And a main street. Nobody has time anymore.
Yep.
And it's difficult to get around town. So if it's going to be a Starbucks, find a Starbucks that's easy to get in and easy to get out. If it's a restaurant, it's about location, but it's about the time. If it's somebody that you want to make a presentation to or close a sale or schmooze or whatever, be mindful of the transportation alone.
The time, yeah.
I, just as a sidebar, when I was with the AMA, I think that's part of the success of our luncheons. We were at Fleming's at Town Square for several years, and new people would come into the board and go, "Hey, let's mix it up and try some locations." And I would always say to them, "Do you understand at this location we're at the intersection of the 15 and the 215, and our audience can get off the highway, park, and be in their booth in less than 15 minutes."
Yeah.
I timed it.
Very
that
convenient.
stuff matters.
It does.
Time matters. So
absolutely.
That's my answer for that.
All right, we've got some fun fantasy questions that I love asking. Personal lightning rounds. We can get to know Pete a little bit more.
All right.
If you could teleport in the world, anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
So does this include time travel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I would go to. I would go to Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia, in April of 1865.
Wow.
It's when the Civil War, for the most part, came to an end, and it's when Grant surrendered the largest Confederate army. And there's a book called April 1865, written by Jay Winnick, and so many things in our country are the way they are today based on what happened in that 1 month. And I would, if I could watch it, I mean, if I could just like ride on a drone above everybody and watch
Be
it.
a fly on the wall in that room.
Yeah, they were still fighting. Grant and Lee were writing letters back and forth the last day, and then and Grant knew he was done. And the terms that were offered to them were generous, and a lot of historians say the country was born in the Revolution, but the birth certificate was signed in Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia, in April 6th. I would love to see that. I'm a history buff, and I'm a Civil War buff.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it?
Well, besides time traveling, that would be a superpower.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're all human beings, and we're all fragile, and we all have fears, and wisely we keep them to ourselves. When I'm serving a client, I need to know what they're afraid of. And if I can anticipate those fears effectively, the job can go really well. It can go quicker, it can go smoother, everybody's happier. And I can get other jobs out of the job. So if I don't necessarily want to read people's minds, but if I knew what people are afraid of, and I work hard at it, but it's tricky.
Yeah,
and you can be wrong. You can be dead wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you can always read people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, if you could swap lives with any fictional character for a week, who would it be, and what would you do?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't read hardly any fiction. And Gina, my life has been a fairy tale itself. So I think I'm good being Pete Radd.
You don't need to be anybody else for a week and discover what that's like.
No.
Yeah. Really cool.
I would love to time travel. I would watch certain elements of the American Revolution, certain times of World War II, and definitely certain events during the Civil War.
That's neat. I love watching documentaries. I love watching period pieces as well. Any time that isn't now, just going back in, whether that's, back to my childhood in the 80s and seeing how that's portrayed on TV when it's done right, doesn't that get you excited?
Yes.
Especially if it's a period you lived through and you go, Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's exactly how it was.
Yes.
Well, it's been so much fun having you here today and learning about your background and your experience. Tell people how they can connect with you and follow your work.
My website is raddtunes.com, RADDTUNES, raddtunes.com. You can find out about the jingles there. I'm really active on Facebook. I still think Facebook is where it's at because you can put most of the things that you can put any other places, you can put on Facebook. Pictures, videos. It seems like most of us are still there. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the social media for older people. I don't know, but I'm not young anymore.
At least that's what the younger people say, right?
Yeah. Facebook, and I have a LinkedIn profile, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Be sure to follow us at GYC Vegas on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our channel wherever you stream podcasts. And if you want to learn more about how your business can enhance its marketing efforts through the power of PR, visit our website at gycvegas.com. Thanks for listening to Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, and we'll see you next time.